we're going to make a variation on what is probably the sandwich that the grilled cheese grill is best known for. When we first opened, we came up with a sandwich called the Cheesus. It is a burger, but instead of there being a bun, it's 2 grilled cheese sandwiches on either side of the sandwich. Today we're going to make a variation on that. It's called the kay-ZOOSE, which in the 2 sandwiches has Tillamook Pepperjack and jalapeños, and the other sandwich has Tillamook medium cheddar with some caramelized onions. So the first step today is we're going to julienne and de-seed and roast a jalapeno. I would recommend, if you've never worked with a fresh jalapeno before, put a glove on your hand and try not to touch the inner skin with your bare hand. If you do, there are various parts of your body that you're not going to want to touch for at least a day or 2, your eyes being one of them. So the first step, you're going to want to cut the tip off and then just kind of slice down the side of the jalapeno, so you've got a piece right there. And then the easiest way to do it is with a small paring knife, just kind of slice out the middle. And from there you can just kind of scoop out the rest of the seeds. If you're bold and you want to leave the seeds in, feel free. We like to take them out because not everybody is into that much heat in their sandwich. So now you've got 2 pieces. From here, it's just kind of flatten it out, and with a nice sharp knife, just kind of julienne them. Keep your fingers out of the way. 1 jalapeno is probably enough for the sandwich. From here, we'll throw them onto the grill and get those cooking. Anytime at the grilled cheese grill we throw something on the grill, we like to put a little bit of salt and pepper on it just to bring the taste out of it. The next step is going to be to start cooking your burger. We use, again, we use an 80-20 lean meat, 1/3 of a pound per burger. And we'll get that cooking as well. Again, a little salt and pepper goes on there. I'm going to take the glove off now because I don't need it anymore, and I touched meat with it. So the next step to this process is going to be compiling the sandwiches. Because it's 2 sandwiches, obviously 2 plus 2 is going to be 4. So you want to get 4 slices of bread. I like to use kind of what you would think of as a Wonder Bread, the longer loaf, slightly smaller pieces. In 1 sandwich, it's going to be 4 slices of bread, which is quite a bit of bread. So don't want to use giant slices of bread because it's going to be way too bready. Take the 4 slices, and we have our sliced Tillamook Pepperjack. So I'll make 1 there, and 1 there. And then we have the medium cheddar, also Tillamook. And it looks like the burger's starting to puff up, so we're going to want to flip that at this point. And if you happen to have a burger weight, you can throw that on top. With burgers, you never want to press down on them. I see people doing that all the time at backyard barbecues. I always bite my tongue. I don't understand why you would squeeze the taste and the juice out of a burger. That's kind of what makes them good. So you just want to put a little weight on it to press it to the grill, but you don't want to just take your spatula and jam on it and squeeze out all of what makes a burger good. When we were getting ready to open, I had a pretty solid menu of sandwiches that we were ready to go, but I didn't feel like I had sort of the kicker sandwich, the one that was going to bring in the dudes, so to speak. And a friend of mine sent me a website with a link that had this burger on it. It fit in perfectly with the menu. I figured it was something we could totally do. So I tried making it for some family members, and my cousin Jay is the one who named it. Basically, I cooked it, served it to him. He took 1 look at it and he went, "Jesus." And it was named. So we did it with that. The one sort of twist that I put on it when I first saw it was that I like to put the fixins actually into the sandwiches rather than between the sandwiches. The burger and lettuce and tomato go between the sandwiches, but if you want to add things like pickles or onions or jalapenos or Mushrooms, if you want to do like a mushroom Swiss version, you could always do that. I like to put them into the sandwiches because it kind of locks that stuff in and it makes it a much less messy sort of experience. Just kind of creates a nice sort of cheese fortress for everything to live inside of. So the burger is getting there. At this point, we can go ahead and put the sandwiches onto the grill. I'm going to flip that one more time. So again, with the sandwiches, we do them open-faced and we brush the butter onto the bread. It's a good technique. It goes by pretty quickly. With melted butter, again, you want to make sure that you give it a nice stir before you put it onto the sandwich. You want to make sure once the butter is melted, it's going to separate. So you want to try and get as much of both the butter solid as well as sort of the butter grease onto the sandwich so it's nice and golden brown. We caramelize up a bunch of onions ahead of time, so I'll throw some of those back on the grill and get those ready to go. And again, between the burger, we put lettuce and tomato. Just adds a nice sort of watery taste to the sandwich that kind of, not so much a watery taste, but it just cuts down on the sort of grease and butter and fat from the burger. It's good to get something that's going to be watery in there to cut all that out. And lettuce and tomato is one of the best ways to do that. I like to use chopped lettuce or shredded lettuce. When you shred it, it just kind of opens the lettuce up a little more. We use basic iceberg lettuce. If you want to go with something a little different, feel free. 2 slices of tomato and a nice little handful of lettuce is plenty. When the juices start to run clear, that's when you know that the burger is done. So at this point, the jalapeños are done. We're going to scoop those up and flip them onto the sandwich. And the onions should be back up to temp, so we're going to put those onto the cheddar side. When you get really good, you can flip both sandwiches over at the same time, like so. Those are starting to get nice and well done. They got a nice golden brown to them. Flip them one more time, make sure everything's nice and melted. We like to put ketchup and mustard on both sides, so one side gets a bunch of ketchup. One side gets your yellow mustard. If you want to add mayo and you're into mayo, you can certainly do that too. The juices in the burger are definitely running clear at this point, so let's get that there. Give the sandwiches another second to get browned up. Basket, paper. We serve these with a pickle and a bag of chips. Unfortunately here we don't have a deep fryer, so we don't do French fries. As you can see, we're kind of limited on space, so a fryer was not a possibility. So pull it off. Lettuce first. Tomato first, lettuce on top. Close this thing up. We like to cut it down the middle, corner to corner. And when you plate it, one down. And that is the kay-ZOOSE.